Mm. Yeah. Put the pen down. Turn the voice in your head around. Give your life to Jesus. Retire from being a people pleaser. Stop trying to dictate outcomes in situations over your head and then some. You can't finish the Creator's story, because then you would get the glory. What is the purpose of all this pain? Stop looking back at things long gone, at people who left you all alone, passed by you like they didn't know you, lied on you, 'cause they detest the truth. Ask God to break your thought process, fill your heart with love, take away all stress. You don't have to be consumed by fear. Say it with me, this is my year. What is the purpose of all this pain? I rebuke the devil and the years trapped in unhealthy relationships, years consumed by fear, years spent waiting for prayers that seemed unanswered, years marked by mistakes I can't undo. And sometimes the hardest part is not what happened, it's wondering whether those years mattered at all. But God's promise reminds us of something beautiful. Nothing surrendered to Him is wasted. What is the purpose of all this pain? What is the purpose of all this pain? What is the purpose of all this pain? Even the seasons that felt barren, even the chapters filled with tears, even the waiting rooms, even the disappointments, God has a way of taking what looked lost, giving you a warm heart, removing the frost, and producing something meaningful from it. No matter how far down in the pit, God can reach you, He can lift you out. That's what this life is all about. Coming to Jesus while you still can, dropping on your knees to listen to His plan. He can create wisdom from mistakes, compassion from suffering, strength from weakness, purpose from pain. What is the purpose of this pain? What is the purpose of all this pain? What is the purpose of all this pain? I'm a living witness, it will never be the same. The enemy may have taken time to groom you and mess with your mind, but he cannot take God's ability to refine all the hurt caused by the unkind. Never mind getting back what you lost, be on the lookout. Wisdom is about to replace confusion. Listen, a new opportunity is knocking at the door. You don't have to worry anymore. God is working in places you can't see. What is the purpose of all this pain? Joe said God's people would eat in plenty and be satisfied. Their shame would be removed and they would know that God was in their midst. That is restoration, not merely recovering things, but recovering hope, recovering confidence, recovering joy, recovering the assurance that God is still present. If you've been grieving lost years, ears, hear this today. God is not limited by your timeline. He is not intimidated by what was lost. He is not finished with your story. The years may be behind you, but His restoration is still ahead of you. God can accomplish more in one surrendered season than we could have accomplished in decades on our own. What is the purpose of all this pain? What is the purpose of all this pain? Take heart. The same God who promised restoration through joy still specializes in redeeming what appears beyond repair. Your story is not over, not even close.